Restrictive practice. Okay, I got a really interesting case study example on an email at the moment about restrictive practice. So we have a client who needs a powered wheelchair, but they don't want to give him a powered wheelchair because they're actually on parole and they're worried about the client escaping and doing harm to people as he has done previously. So they're saying, can we get a controller on the back and the back only? And I said, well, you can get a control on the front, you can also get a control on the back, and you can only give access to the front when the back gives access, right? So the person can't drive unless someone allocates it, and you can also do a remote stop switch. But is that considered restrictive practice? And my answer for this case is actually yes, and I'll explain why. So whenever I'm thinking about restrictive practice, I always think of one, have you considered all other possible solutions besides removing someone's mobility? And in this case, we probably haven't, right? Because if you considered this client as if they didn't need a wheelchair, would you handcuff them to a bed? And if the answer is no, we need them to move around and they need to be able to walk around, that's fine. Well, that's essentially what you're doing by only having a controller on the back. So if it was an ambulatory client who could walk around, what would you do? If you had someone, you'd probably have 24-hour supervision. Maybe there'd be like fob or key access in and out of the home or whatever it may be, but you wouldn't chain them to a bed, unless you would, right? Unless that's court appointed. Then maybe that would be a case where you have to actually lock someone in a room. And if that's legal for someone who's walking, then whatever the situation may be, fine. But in this case, you can't take away someone's mobility because A, it's easier, or B, because you're just worried about something that they might do. One, people have the right to do things that even if they're illegal, right? If someone wants to drive off to their meth lab, they have the right to do so. And if you don't want them to do that, then you would treat them the same way you would as a regular ambulatory client. Hope that makes sense.